All right, Mr. Duncan, we are live. And so before I introduce everybody to my business partner, my guest today, I want to say hello to everybody and welcome to our live stream. This will be kind of short. At 2 o'clock today, we've got a training coming up by Mr. Al Murray, and he's one of our best trainers on Wealth Builders Worldwide team. And so we want to definitely get out of the way for that training. Be at 2 o'clock. I think it's on, it's on goldrocks.info. So definitely you guys join us over there. Invite your teams. That's the way to build this business is take advantage of the entire community. Invite your team to everything that we're doing. It speeds up your duplication, which duplication is everything in this business. But what I want to do right now is I want to introduce you to this gentleman and get into his story a little bit. We probably going to have to do 3 or 4 of these streams to make this even make sense.
Yeah,
with such a deep history together, and his migration and matriculation into the Carrot Bars world, and now the revelations that he's having. He calls me periodically through the week, 2, 3, 4 times a week with three-way calls, and we're building the business. Yesterday was funny. We finally did a real breakdown on the compensation plan, and over half the time we were on the stream with him and his business partner, he was like this. Because he's having success in building a business and not really understanding why the money is coming, but he knows he's building something, and that's exciting. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine and now a strong business partner, Mr. Leon Duncan. Mr. Duncan is a world-class real estate investor, entrepreneur. He and his wife have had years of just outrageous success, and you would think somebody with that type of acumen wouldn't be needing to do a business like Carrot Bars,
like Carrot Bars.
And yet he found value in it. And so we're going to have a little brief discussion and start talking about it. So what made me want to go and get on this live stream is he started telling me, and we'll try to obscure the names to protect the innocent, but he started telling me about some of his friends who some of them get fired up and join right away. Mm-hmm. But some of them seem to think that, they're above it, or it's not really for them.
Yeah.
And he's learning so much. So I'm going to kind of cut Mr. Duncan loose and let him talk to you guys about his feeling about this industry, his testimony about Carrot Bars. So, Mr. Duncan, take it away.
It's amazing. I think when I first started this, Mr. Dalcoe, you brought it to me back in 2015. It was January. Today I was actually looking at my back office and I saw the actual date. You know how some people in Carrot Bars, they say, man, today's my Carrot anniversary. But I actually saw the date today. I said, wow, it was January 2015. And the crazy part about it is I started and I brought about 20 people into the business, introduced everybody into it, and I just left and went away. I just said I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to work on at that time my real estate business, more or less, and it was almost like, hey, what do I do? What do I do? I didn't quite understand that I could build my real estate business while also building my Carrot Bars business, and why it was important to actually do both of them.
Say that one more time. Say that for the people in the back. Say that for the people in the back that don't think they can do that.
Why building my Carrot Bars business and why it was important to do both of them at the same time. And I think it was, I don't know what it was. It was some type of confusion or misunderstanding. And even coming back in, I understand now that even my real estate business isn't a deal. It's not a networking business. It can live and breathe while my Carrot Bar business lives and breathes. And depending on the individual, one day it can replace it. And I say depending on the individual because I would desire for it to replace it one day, and that is a dream. That's actually a goal of mine. So it's interesting. I guess people look at it and say, okay, well, you're in real estate and you guys got this gorgeous house and, you got this car and you guys have been doing this and doing that. And you look and you're very successful. And I'm like, yeah, we are successful from where we came from. That's true. I'll cook more hot dogs, son. I got the kids running around here. I said,
Hey, that's called freedom. That's called freedom. I love it.
And we're very successful from where we came from, but by no means where we want to go, you know. And I mean, getting back with Mr. Delco and seeing his lifestyle and what he's doing. I mean, I tell you, I can't. There's nothing that really measures up to seeing where his caliber is, what he's done, and getting with him and say, hey, you know, I started this roughly about 5 years ago, and I want to do it now. And you know, Mr. Delco, what made it happen was I went to my gold broker trying to find some gold when this COVID thing hit, and he was closed.
Ah, wow.
He was closed. He was closed. I called there. I remember I called like 3-4 times. I'm like, hey, Nathan, I'm on a live stream right now. Can y'all work it out?
Hey, let me tell y'all something while he's getting his kids in check. Look, I was telling him, it's so funny, man. I was saying, hey, Leon, don't stop your kids from talking, because that's a part of my shtick, right? A part of this is we get to be home and build this thing. And your children are right there with you. I don't want him to put them in another room. I want folks to understand we can build this business, as Dante Taylor says on the screen, freedom. That's what it's all about. It's about building your business while you raise your children and laugh and play games with your kids. Man, my son had a situation yesterday, and it was kind of traumatic for him, Leon, and I was right here at home, sitting right here in my office, soaking it all in, building wealth. I was on a training this morning with a guy from Nigeria who goes transcontinental, Nigeria to United States, and you were on there with me. You literally saw it happen in real time. I made over $600 while I'm sitting here training the team in real time. I literally showed it to him. It's on my Facebook page. I literally showed it to him in real time, building wealth from home while the kids are playing and you correcting them and raising them like you should. Man, we could talk forever. Look,
Mr. Duncan,
go ahead, Leon.
I actually started going down this line because I wanted to be home for my son. Like, I wanted to be here. It was a bunch of stuff going on with him in school. And, you know, I came home and told my wife, I said, I just got to find a way to get home to be here for him. I want to pick him up from school. I want to be able to take him to school. I want him to know that I'm here, you know? And when the teacher says, hey, Mr. Duncan, please come down, I want to be able to come down there and let him see my face, not just hear me over the phone, you know?
All right. So Mr. Duncan, dig into just a little bit. Let's get started. What are some of the things you've learned that you didn't understand before this business? Let's talk about your spiritual kind of journey in networking.
Like I was telling you, I'm realizing it every day. I tell you, every week, if you work the business, is something going on. You will learn something new about yourself, about the people around you, about relationships as a whole. And one of the things I discovered was how much influence I had in places that I didn't even know I had influence. And then in some places where I thought I was influential, surprise, I'm not really influential. You know, that's a reality check for me. So, but it showed me the depth of some relationships, how close I thought I was with someone and some people, but I'm really not that. It is not because they didn't come into the business or nothing like that. It's almost like if you take an onion and someone starts to peel back that onion, you see different things in there, even though while you get down to the root of the onion, you know, you'll find other things that are there. And I didn't go digging for it. It just showed itself up and just opened my eyes, you know? But at the same time, I tell you, I didn't feel any type of way. I think right now I feel, coming from our past, the last 5 years, I feel different when I look at my board, my screen in the business, and I'm like, man, I can see this person getting units underneath them. I can see this person. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're so close. And I think my heart hurts now. And I feel a different level of compassion that I didn't feel. I mean, you got to think about it. In real estate, this is dog eat dog, you know? I didn't feel that. And I feel it when I see somebody so close and what they can do and what they're missing out. And like we said earlier today, I told you, I put 3 people into the business and the 3rd person gets the package first.
Oh, okay. Let's break that down. Let's break that down for a second. Now, let me grab something because they're not gonna know what you're talking about. As I'm getting ready to do this, because I'm gonna make my screen bigger so y'all can see this and understand what Mr. Duncan is saying. Mr. Duncan he joined 2015.
Yeah.
Mr. Duncan, don't I'm not trying to put you out there, but
it's okay.
Why did it take you so long to get started? I mean, you got your package, but why did it take so long to get started?
I think I was so distracted. One, I could say I was distracted with a bunch of things going on. It's a lot of noise sometimes. A lot of noise. You're doing real estate, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're always moving. COVID did something for me. It just shut it down.
Oh, come on now.
It stopped me from moving. And my mind just got focused. And I know just from experience, when things start to go like this, when it starts to go bad, there's an opportunity. So first thing I thought about was, of course, money. I'm like, okay, what's going on with the money? And like I told my wife, hey, I don't think we got enough gold. That's when I picked up the phone.
All right. So that's good stuff. And I tell you guys, y'all know I'm rushing a little bit because I don't want to run into our training at 2. But like Mr. Matthews said, I haven't used my whiteboard in a while. So here's the whiteboard. Here's Mr. Okay, so this is me. And I'll see how it works on my actual. Okay, so down my right leg, here's Leon Duncan. So that's Mr. Duncan. So people go, here goes that pyramid thing. Okay, now watch this. He's going to teach you something. All right, so actually, it's more like this. This is my son. And then Mr. Duncan is right there. All right, now my son is in beast mode. He's 27 years old, 2 felony charges that he served his time for, did 2 years in prison, so he can't get a job. Thank God for Carrot Bars. He doesn't need to. All he has to do is work at Carrot Bars business, and work it he does. My son has put a bunch of people down here. I put a couple of people down here. So Mr. Duncan has a leg that was running for 5 years. He's got a monster team that's already built on his left leg. And because this is because Mr. Duncan started building his business, he started building his right leg. So what he was saying there was he sponsored 2 people. He sponsored a lot of people by now, but he sponsored these 2 people. I should put them in blue dots, but just imagine the black dots are people who didn't get a package, a business package. They didn't take action. Then he sponsored another guy right here who took action. This guy got a business package and set himself up on auto exchange and start saving gold. Mr. Duncan, of course, received a small commission, and he's getting units from that business partner who's building his business. Now, these 2 people didn't take action yet. That's what he's saying. So what's the outcome then, Mr. Duncan? That's what you're trying to teach the people right now.
The 2 that's in front of him that literally came in the same day. Actually, let me tell you, those 2 came in that night. He came in that morning. The 2 that came in that evening, I set up their KYCs. One of them, I set up his KYC, went through everything with him. I'm going, let me look at it. Let me keep on. This gentleman, the one at the end, came in that morning, set up his KYC that afternoon, got his package that evening with some gold. So the units and the points, tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm right, Mr. Dalcoe. The units and the points, it went around those 2 guys, and of course came to me. They didn't benefit from the investment that he made in the business.
That's it. And we have to show it to you on the whiteboard because it is a little difficult to understand. And the reason why it's difficult to understand is here's why. Here's why it's hard to get it. I'm so excited right now. I love playing with the whiteboard. Okay, here's why it's hard for you guys to get it. It's because this is what most people understand. they understand the school to college,
yeah,
to a job, and you are right here. You're at the bottom of this whole pyramid. Oh, you think the school system not part of it? Oh, they definitely train people to be employees. You're at the bottom. You're the dead last person on this chain. And so the reason why they don't understand all that magic is because there's nothing below you. You get a job, you look down, there ain't nothing down there but your shoestrings. There's no team down there. The whole team is above you. If you look up, you'll see that you got prostituted by the school system, prostituted by the religious system, prostituted by the political system, prostituted by corporate America system. And when you get home or when you're driving in your car, you're getting prostituted by the radio network, you're prostituted by the TV network, and everybody's digging off in your pockets.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you have zero leverage to help you build your business.
Zero.
You don't have a business. You have a job. Jump out of bed.
Jump out of
traffic.
And you know, Mr. Dalcoe, the misconception also is, just being from the real estate space, I'm going to really hurt some people with this, is that as an agent, you get these commissions. And this is, I didn't come into real estate and actually become an agent. I got it because I want to be an investor. I just stumbled on the agent side. You get these commissions and your mind thinks you're like, oh man, I'm making money. I'm getting these commissions. But Mr. Dalcoe, the biggest complaint I hear from real estate agents is, man, I got to get out and talk to another buyer. This is not, I know some people from my industry, they looking at me, they're like, okay, here go Leon. I got to get out there and talk to another buyer. I got to put them in the car. I got to deal with another seller. I got to do that. And you know what's worse is after they get finished doing that, they got to do it again. And they got to do it again and again and again. And they don't understand why they're getting so drained, why they're losing all this energy, why time flies, and it's nothing that they have to really show for it at all. Agents that I know personally that have sold $1 million properties, $1 million homes, you know, and you ask them where the money is, it's not there anymore.
Exactly. I've been in that world. You know, I was right there with you.
You know, my phone is gonna blow up pretty soon. I saw you alive. You were doing that.
But I think to your point, Leon, if they're listening critically and not with their emotions on their sleeve, they should hear what you heard when we had our conversation a month and a half ago. Is okay, Mike. Leon was like, okay, Mike. You know, real estate is going great. It's obvious the dude has all the trappings of success: the nice cars, the nice houses. You know, big monster house. You know, they crash every day.
The trappings of success. You got,
yes, sir.
We have to wield it. We got to wield it back. We got to be like, hey, no, this is a trap you're about to step into. It's the trappings of success. What I didn't understand, Mr. Dalcoe, was I needed to build this business while I was doing what I was doing. This is my retirement. You can build houses or you can build people.
Shoo. Say that one more time. Let me get off the screen.
This is
go ahead, Leon.
And because I know investors, a couple hundred pieces of property. I know they're not on this call right here, but it's not what we think it is. Put it like that. It's not what we think it is. There's a lot more to it. And even getting up to this part right here, whereas Mr. Dalcoe, you pull me up and you help me say, okay, listen, Mr. Duncan, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. When you start getting right here in this space, they cutting you off. They cutting you down. They don't want you to get up there. That's something we probably have to do that offline.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me say it like this. So look, we both came out of the real estate game. Look, just a little history.
This is unbelievable.
When I met Mr. Duncan, first of all, we worshiped at the same church. I would always see him. I was a praise and worship leader. So I'd be up on the stage and kind of like, some people you're drawn to some folks, right? And I would see him and his wife. First of all, just a cute young couple, they always look like they got their stuff together. You see them leave the parking lot holding hands and jumping in nice whip and roll out. They got their stuff together. Then I had some mutual friends that worked in the same industry of real estate, and they said, that brother right there, he's up and coming. He's going to crush this. That dude's serious. And I was like, what's his name? It's Leon Duncan. Okay. And so he was on my radar. And so, I matriculated beyond that church and started working at some other ministries, and since left that religious construct altogether. But that's whole another seminar. We'll talk about that one day, because we had a serious talk last night with Mr. Best, how network marketing has a religious, spiritual awakening to it. Man, we don't want to get all into that. Man,
it's call last night,
bro. If there's a spiritual awakening, I really want to kind of get into all this. I'm gonna bring Leon back for real, because this brother's got so much to say. But there's a spiritual awakening. So I saw him in church, had him on my radar. And so after I really got into carrot bars, I started thinking, just like we teach you guys, make a list of everybody you know. And he was on my list. I finally got around to him in 2015 after joining 2013. Bad sponsor. Call him right away. There's nothing to lose. Look, you're going to save gold for yourself. Best price in the market. Gold is going up in value, and it's free to join. And there's no monthly requirements. What are you afraid to tell them about? There's nothing. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just tell them. So I told him, he signed up, he got a package, but he didn't take immediate action because he was comfortable and successful.
Yes. You said the word.
Go ahead, bring the two together.
You said it, comfortable. And I have to even challenge my wife. We go back and forth, challenge each other, like, okay, you're getting comfortable right here, or this looks comfortable. We had this conversation, you and Mr. Best you were doing this call, and the word comfortable came out, and I said, baby, the reason why, we we get bored at a certain point is, we'll just leave it like that, is because we've reached that, we're comfortable, and then we can't see our dream is like right here. It's not even up here. It's not even like right up there. We're just comfortable because we've reached that point. And that place of comfort, now it can be your biggest destruction. It can destroy you, being in that place of comfort. Your enemies of success. And I say that book over again, Mr. Dalcoe. I know I got to say it again, because Mr. Best talks about in there success and how success can be your enemy, one of your biggest enemies. And that's what happened to us to a certain degree. Yes, we successful. We're doing this, we're doing that. And you get comfortable. You get sloppy. You forget about certain things. Oh, we're not going to do this. We're going to do this debt free. And you got money coming in, so you can easily go ahead and say, oh, well, we'll pay that. Let's get that now. We'll pay that as it goes. And then you find out you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So what this has awakened for me is you getting too comfortable, and people get comfortable because they get that paycheck. They get comfortable because they're in that place and they reach a certain pinnacle of success, and they've reached it, and they're comfortable, and they forget. And when they get comfortable, things take them out.
I'm going to tell you something else people don't do. So 2 things. One, they don't talk enough. Okay. I want you guys to be more vocal out here in this social media space. I woke up this morning, the Spirit of God said, call them. Okay. So I had to process, okay, call them. What does that mean? Like, I hear these words. Okay. Just so you'll know I'm not crazy. In 1988, 87, I had a dream that I could play the piano. And I woke up out of a dream and I said, I can play. Like, I get these little impressions. They happen semi-annually. Every now and then I'll write a song. I might write 1 song a year. They are impressions from the Spirit, right? And so this morning's impression was, call them. So I was like, call who? Call who? I'm waking up. I'm like, call who? Call who? No, it's not. It's not for me to call them. It's teach the people who are willing to listen to you, whoever's holds you in a high enough regard to trust what you say, and that it's a divine word for them in a certain season. speak that word to those people. Now, there are people there. I have detractors, in case y'all didn't know. I have some haters, some people on YouTube. I'm streaming this on YouTube and Facebook that they hate me. They can't stand me. They hate my guts. They wish I would drink poison and die. Ooh. All right. But and I can't do a live stream. I could talk about how beautiful puppies are, and they would talk about cats are better. I mean, there's nothing I can say to make them happy. But there are people who take value, who derive great value in what I say. Mm-hmm. And I always say that the messenger is only as good as the receiver of that message. Yeah. And there are people who, when I say things, they don't receive it because they're a fan of mine. They receive it as a messenger of God. They take it at face value. Yeah. Right? They literally say, this is for me. And they move on it. And they receive it. So this morning's word, those that listen to me, I said, the word for you was call them. And I'm saying, not just pick up the phone. I'm saying, Mr. Duncan, get on social media and holler out. Herald the word. Speak that word out to the people, because you have an experience that I don't have. You are an entrepreneur, real estate developer. You do things that I don't do. So you're in a space that I'm not in. Call those people, folks. So I'm telling you, I grabbed my list and I started reaching out to people that are on my list that I didn't have time over the last 3-4 months to call, and started calling them. And my word to you is call them. Why not? Why not call them? Because you have nothing to lose. Every single thing about Carrot Bars is your help. Okay, I'm trying to tell a story fast because I have 8 minutes. Okay, look, when we first got into business, a friend of ours, friend of me and Monisha, they're in another business. They wanted us to help them out. And so we said, well, you can help us out too. We start using a service that they promote, and it's a service that we have never used. We haven't used it in the past. We didn't use it when we had the service, and we haven't used it since. We haven't needed it since. It was a kind of hard sell, nonsensical service for our family. Maybe some families need it. We don't. So it was after about 8 to 10 months, almost a year, we canceled. Well, we didn't know that the company had paid them for 2 years of service from us. So when we canceled, they charged them back a year and a few months of commission. They charged them back, took their commissions back. I said, who would want to be in a business like that? Conversely, she got 1 gram of gold from my wife, 1 gram, thinking that she's doing my wife a favor. She got 1 gram. The gram of gold was $45 that day. And today it's almost $70. So thinking they're doing us a favor, we made about 5 cents on the gram of gold one time. That gold has raised $25. And you say, well, that's only $25. Yeah, but what if they had 1,000 grams of gold? That'd be $25,000 of increase. That's just leverage, right? So what I'm telling you guys is, don't be afraid to call them. Why? Because there's nothing to lose. You're saving gold for yourself, sharing with others how to save in gold instead of dollars, and we get paid for that activity. That's Carrot Bars International. And that's the light switch that finally came on for Mr. Duncan. And man, when he says he's trying to wean off of real estate, I'm going to let you close with that story.
They're not ready yet. They don't understand. You'll understand. You want to. Our goal was, I don't know if you remember this, Mr. Dalcoe. I don't know if you remember this big dream that I told you when I first signed up at Carrot Bars, when you were actually telling me in 2015 about dreaming, how to dream, and you should have a big dream, listening to the initial power calls that were coming out. I wanted, and I don't know if you remember this, I said, I want to go back to the beach, and I want to work from the beach, and I want to be able to work anywhere in the country, in the world, and I want to do it from the beach. That's where I want to do it from. And that dream it's almost like it got strangled out by everything else from that time on. So you can easily forget that dream and where you wanted to go if you don't keep it in front of your eyes and going through your ears and and going back and forth. And my wife, she's a big dreamer. I mean, she's always like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But that particular dream was actually the thing that triggered me to getting into Carrot Bars at the beginning. I don't know if you remember that at all, but holding on to that dream, it's like now I'm coming right back around, you know, right back around to it. And now seeing you, Mr. Duncan, when I connected back with you, it's like, man, you know what? That was the dream. That's where I wanted to be. That's where I want to go. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I want to sell all these houses. I want to do this. I want to flip this. I want to do all of that. Yeah, but that's not really what I wanted to do. Like, that's what I felt I needed to do to get to where I want to be, but that's not the dream. That's almost just the activity to the dream. That's like saying I want to dial out. It's like saying I want to reach out to 50 people today. And because I reach out to 50 people today, oh yeah, you're going to have all these packages and all this stuff. But that's not really the dream. You know, that wasn't really the dream for us. Our dream was we want to go back to the beach.
Man, how big is your dream? So look, guys, we really rushed through this conversation, but it went way better than I could have ever hoped. Mr. Leon Duncan is a true icon, not only in real estate and entrepreneurialism, but you guys remember this name. I don't say things that don't come to pass. Remember this name, Leon Duncan, okay? He is going to kill this. He's already killing it. He's going to kill this business. You guys are going to hear a lot from him. He does the system perfectly. He follows the map, okay? Literally, we say do A, B, C, D, E. He does A, B, C, D, E, all capital letters. Right there, Mr. Duncan, you can have the last word.
Now, when you say stuff you just said right there, when you just said what you just said right there, man, I receive it. I just sit back and say, okay, thank you, Mr. Duncan. Right, you said it. I receive it. I learned that the last time you told me. I think one time you said, you know, Leon, I'm telling you, two years from now, you're gonna see yourself $1 million. You're gonna be a millionaire, multimillionaire, doing this and that. I was like, okay. And I got off the call with you. I said, how did you just say yes and just and keep on going? Yes. So I said I would not make that mistake when you speak. And I'll make this real quick. I know we're about to get on Gold Rocks. I'm gonna make it real quick, but I'm gonna tell you, when you're one of those people like Mr. Best, when you say something, I truly believe it's shooting out there in the atmosphere, and it's up to that person to receive it and to take it, you know, and rock and run with it, and not just to let it float out there. I told you personally, like I told you before, I believe you carry that apostolic anointing for this space right here, and people don't know about marketplace ministry and apostolic anointing in that, but that's my personal belief. That's me. Okay. And I appreciate it. Everything that you do. This is a great opportunity. And if you don't take advantage of it, guarantee somebody else will.
That's a good last word. I want to thank Mr. Leon Duncan for jumping on with me. We've got a training coming up in 2 minutes. It's going to be at www.goldrocks.info. On this training, the inimitable Mr. Al Murray is going to teach us how to maximize the three-way call. I put the message on the screen right there, goldrocks.info. Go ahead and click there. Let's jump on together and let's learn together. Y'all have a great day. And you know what I say? We'll see you guys on the white sandy beaches of the world. All right, bye-bye, everybody.